Ramin, you know that I'm a live action director until now. This is my fourth film, but my first animated film. I made the decision to make an animated film in 2018. So I wrote a script based in the graphic novel, and then everything went very quickly, the financing, the storyboard, and the whole production. But when I saw we really had something very special is after 1 year working on the animatic, because we felt, wow, this is working. The animatica was moving the people, and I felt like we were confident. And directors, by nature, we have to think big and be extremely positive. So of course, I was thinking I was going to get nominated, thinking and telling everybody in the crew, we're going to get there. Of course, when we got the news, I was surprised, like I think everybody else on the panel. I'm a writer director, so for me, the script is the treasure map, and the treasure map in animation is the reels, is the animatic. It's difficult to choose one thing in the process, but I would say to put the reels together, like everybody else, I went through the COVID and the pandemic. We created a very small team that we all worked together with the mask. It was just the art director. It was this one storyboard artist. It was the music editor and the editor and me that for 1 year we did the storyboard. So the moment we finished the storyboard and we finished, okay, this is it, and we play the reels with the music and everything, and we saw the movie for the first time, for me as a live action director, to see the film before it got made, it was so strong. It got such a big impact in me and the team. And at that moment, I knew we had a fantastic film before even the production started. And another highlight, I have to say it, for a director to get into the official selection of Cannes and walk on the red carpet in Cannes and say, yes, this is the starting point of this film. And now to end with the Oscar. So that Cannes moment on the red carpet and Thierry Frémaux giving you a hug, that was a big moment. I thought about all the hard work, it was just there, in that moment, Well, when I started in this business, I thought a director had just to give orders and know exactly what he wanted. But the more films I make, and this is my fourth film, I just realized that directing is more about listening than giving orders. It's just about getting all the juices and all the best of each of your crew members. It could be a production assistant and of course your head of the department. So I listen every time more, but of course it's the director responsibility to have the last word, and that's important. Like at the same time what Joaquin says, there's so many pressures in a film, so many pressures, but the director has to fight for the scene and not to give up until he thinks it's right. If there's some kind of something negative about me, or maybe it's a positive as a director, it's just like I don't give up until if I don't see it. I'm not going to let but all the pressure, and that's something that you get with experience. I feel stronger as a director on my fourth film. I also work with the same producer, so they know me. Also, we have to talk about producers. A film doesn't exist without producers. So I'm lucky that I made 3 films with my producers. So I trust them when they tell me something that, Pablo, you cannot go this way. And they know me that if I'm fighting for something, for a scene, for a shot, so it's, you get over budget, you get out of schedule. This is not like something mechanical. There's no science. This is art, and there's so many variables and something can happen. So you have to dance. I think dancing. Maybe I learned to dance better with the crew. It's a question of dancing. Well, I think technology shouldn't be a threat. It's how you use it. I think it's a whole evolution of cinema, like Joaquin says. So my film is hand drawn, so the artist had to draw, and of course they didn't draw on paper. And I think there's always going to be something that is going to be able to make our film better. I think I couldn't have done Robot Dreams with the budget and the time, although it was a long process, with so much care and detail for the acting. If I had done it on paper, like I would have needed a Disney studio to make the film. Honestly, the complexity of Robot Dreams, if it had been made in the 40s, I couldn't have done it. But thank God to technology, I was able to make a very complex hand-drawn 2D film. Honestly, it was But so I think is how we use the tool, how we regulate it. I think there's a lot of like, big headlines and big news about AI, I think at the end, AI, it's just like a child. You just, I have a 20-year-old daughter. It's a question of how you educate it, and how we use it. So I think it's just too many headlines. And it's funny because Robot Dream, one of the protagonists is a robot. So one of the questions that I get the most, and I was not expecting, is to talk about AI in my interviews when I do junkets. And I always have to say, it's just the robot in Robot Dreams is made of little pieces like a Meccano. There's no chips, there's no software, there's no AI. It's just a metaphor. And about what is a best generous friend. And I will just connect with what Peter said, the 5 films that we are nominated this year, the reason I want to think, the main reason is there's a story, and there's a story that connects. For me, Robot Dream is very personal to me. I'm Doug, and I lived 10 years in New York. Peter has the reasons why he made his film, Joaquin and Troy. So I think there's like, and of course, the great master Miyazaki. When you say the name, you have to take off your hat. But it's the story, and I think that's what makes our films unique in themselves. I'm new in this, so first I wanted just to be a live action director. So the first film that it really opened my mind, where I thought there was a director behind, is when I saw it in a gigantic cinema in Bilbao, Jaws. I was gone. I was thrilled. I was there. I was going for the white shark. I scream, I laugh, and it made me so many films, so many feels, so many things with the changes of shot, the point of view, the camera moving. I don't know. I was like ecstasy, cinematographic ecstasy. So that was the film. For me, I said, directed Steven Spielberg. So that's the first time I thought about being a director. And I have to tell a quick anecdote. At the luncheon nominees, can you believe that I'm on the photo call alone? And suddenly behind me, it was just Steven Spielberg. So I almost faint. My heart started beating so fast. And I had to have my moment. I had to express my admiration to the master. So I just shake hands to him, told him the same story that I just told right now. And I was just like, in tears. But I had to say at the end, have you seen Robot Dreams? I had to push. No. So if Steven Spielberg is watching in the screening room, Robert,
he is,
and tell me something, I saw it. I think in the gala, just that it doesn't matter what happens. It will make my day if Steven Spielberg Robot Dreams. So that's the film. But I have to, now I'm an animation director. So I have to say my animation moment. When I discovered in the 90s, the first Miyazaki film that I saw was Porco Rosso. And then I had to discover everything. I don't know. The moment I discovered Miyazaki, I said, who is this director? And I was just a live action director. And I saw everything. Cagliostro, Kiki, Totoro. And then after that, I saw everything. It's just, he's a master in cinema. And I think that's very important that it's clear. Miyazaki is one of the great directors of all time. And it doesn't matter animation of live action, he's amazing. He's really like something. We hope he makes one more film. Please, Dave, push.
Yeah, whatever you can do, buddy.
Yeah, Dave, it's all on you now.
We want one more.
Dave. I feel like we're all suddenly ganging up on Dave. We're going to take him out, after lunch.
That's right, Dave.
That's right.
Come
That's
on,
right.
man.
That's right.
We're all counting on you now.
I would like that they will remember Robot Dreams like as an emotional ride. If while they were watching the film, they remember people that they love or they lost. They don't have to think about dog and robot. They have to think about people from their own lives. So I made this film as a memory for people that I love and they're not with me anymore. So I would love that it would happen also to the audience, the same feeling.